Welcome to applediaries.com. I'm Mariah. Welcome to my Heal Thyself channel, where I like to discuss health, detoxification, and other unpopular subjects with the masses. Anyways, I just wanted to give a little bit of a life update and to let everyone know that I still plan on reading the rest of Arnold Ehret's book, The Mucusless Diet Healing System. I know I did 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, and I will continue that, but because of the circumstances I'm in, I haven't been able to really make any videos, and I do plan on really expanding upon a lot of things this new year. The reason why I can't really make videos right now except for in my car is because the place I was living, it was a nice farm, and we had a lot of plans there to become more self-sufficient, I suppose, which is still in the works, just in a different location now. The owners of the farm there ended up going to Mexico, and the place is no longer able to live there. So, moved to another place, and I am ecstatic about living where I'm living because it is so quiet. It's so quiet. It's right up against the forest. I can hike for many kilometers into the forest. I've done some exploring. Obviously I'll do more in the spring because it's really slippery now and snowy and whatnot, but I never hear a siren. The air is just so fresh. Like, I missed the fresh air because where I was living before in Oliver and Osoyoos in the Okanagan, they've ripped out all the orchards and all the trees, and it's basically all bare land except for all the grapevines. And I love grapes, of course, but all these grapes are for wine, and they're not table grapes even. And there's hardly, the air quality there is awful. And anyways, I really love this new location because I'm a bit closer to Vancouver, but not too close. Right up against the forest. There's so much to explore, and I'm getting to know, I'm right beside a river as well. I mean, I have good water access. If things went south, which I still think that they most likely will, maybe not this year, maybe next year, who knows, but I'm just saying, if the power goes out, if the grid goes down, I have the ability to still carry on, so I'm not too worried about that. I mean, we already had some crazy events take place, such as major road closures, because we had a whole bunch of flooding, as you saw in my last video. We couldn't even get to the city. We did have some food shortages in the stores for a while there, but I've been preparing for this for over 10, 12 years, seeing this kind of economical situations potentially able to arise. So, I've been preparing for a long time, not to mention, I guess I shouldn't get into it all, of course, here on YouTube. But so my situation has changed, and this new place I moved to, the house was uninhabitable, and so it had to be completely renovated from the ground up. New flooring, new paint. I've been, helping out with that, but it's been such a long road to getting to a decent place to live, So I have no place to make videos except for in my car. Here I am going on a long drive. I'm glad that the blizzard stopped because I was getting a little worried here. I thought, well, maybe I should just turn around and go home because it's not good to drive in the snow like this. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So I wanted to do this video to say what my plans are and what I'm up to. So I've done some tweaking to my diet, and I'm trying a different dietary regime, so to speak. No, I haven't turned to meat. No, I haven't turned to eggs. No, I haven't turned away from, healthy veganism. But I think a lot of people will be quite shocked with what I'm doing, and I will share that. I'm a month in, and I want to give it a good 3 months, because I mean, who's a better candidate than me? I've been living, on a mucusless type diet for over 8 years now. I go through many periods of fruit only. I go through, some juice cleanses. I do water fasting 1 day a week. I've done plenty of water fasting for longer periods of time. The longest water fast I've ever done was 7 days. I've done 2 7-day water fasts. I've done a few 5-day water fasts, plenty of 3-day water fasts, a few 2 days, and I do a 1-day water fast every week. I guess you could say religiously. Just that's my thing. That's my day of rest. And I find most benefit from water only. I was doing 1 day a week for quite a long time on just juice fasting, but I guess you can't call it fasting because you're still bringing in nutrients, and then you're at a, anyways, so juice cleansing. But I was doing 1 day a week on just juice cleansing. But I've noticed way more benefit from just water only fasting. And yes, it's a little bit more of a torture if somebody wants to put it that way, but I don't see it that way. I actually really enjoy emptying out and just focusing on what is going on around me more intensely, because when you're eating, it seems that there's a lot of details that kind of get overlooked, and you don't really realize that until you try the water fasting out, and until the water fasting becomes comfortable, because it took a long time for water fasting to become comfortable to me, because obviously I had to clean out to a certain extent where it where I don't even notice if I'm not eating anything till about 3 o'clock is when I would get really hungry on a regular day now. But in the past, I would get really hungry by 10 a.m. And it was a torture for me to even fast until noon. But now it's like, it's just, very easy. I mean, every day I don't eat until 1 o'clock daily anyways. And then when I do, so for about 8 years, though, on my regular dietary days, when I'm not fruit fasting or cleansing, or when I'm not juice cleansing, or when I'm not water fasting or whatever, I had, a basic routine where I would eat fruit all day. I would start about noon, say, on average, give or take. Some days 1, some days later, earlier, whichever. I would eat fruit all day, and then I would eat a large mucusless or mucus lean meal in the evening. And I've been doing that for like 8 years, like I said, unless I was, in a period of different types of cleansing and whatnot. And that's worked out really well for me. But there's other information that I have been studying for quite some time, and I am going to share this, but I'm going to share it later on, after I've done my 3-month trial. And what I'm trying to say is that I'm a very good candidate for this, because I've been eating a certain way for so long, 8 years, that any change in my diet, I have been noticing the changes, and I will report what they are, and I will report what I've been doing, and it's quite exciting, I think, quite interesting. And so that's one thing I will be sharing in the future in another couple months. Also, in the spring, we're going to be building a greenhouse again. Of course, it seems like ever since I moved from the city out to the Okanagan, it's been build a greenhouse, move away, plant a bunch of fruit trees, move away, work on somebody else's land or leave our land, whichever. Anyways, so this time it's going to be more permanent, because the place I'm at, I know I don't have to leave for quite some time, so that's a bonus. And when this greenhouse goes up, I will be here to help it flourish, into the nursery of my dreams, because I am really good with plant propagation with seeds, and I always have been. I mean, before I got into health, I actually went to school for horticulture, and I did that because it was the only thing that interested me out of every single course available at Capilano. Well, Capilano now, it's university, it was college. I wanted to go to school just so I would have some type of college education because, just because it's the thing to do. And I couldn't find anything I wanted to do until I found the horticulture program, and I was like, yes, this is what I'm interested in. And then I was more interested in when we were learning about, certain vegetation and whatnot. The only vegetation that I was really interested in learning about was the edible vegetation and the medicinal qualities of that vegetation. Even though I have a little bit of a different stance on herbs and humans' relationship with herbs now, I still, I'm absolutely in love with them, and will plant every single plant and do tons of experiments, and I'm gonna have tons of plants in this greenhouse, and I'll eventually be selling or providing or sharing all this vegetation with anybody who happens to come my way. Anyways, so that's my life update. I've moved again. I have nowhere to make videos right now. I plan to have a place to make videos in a month's time, I'm hoping. And I can get back to the Arnold Ehret book, and then I have another book I want to read, which I'll share with you in a little while, just because I don't have it with me here while I'm driving. So I'm wishing everybody happy holidays, whatever it is that you do. I'm not a big holiday celebrator, it's very minimal. When it comes to a lot of holidays, like even Thanksgiving, it seems like I'm fasting most Thanksgivings, while everybody else is, gorging on dead birds. And Christmas, well, I'm not one to put up a tree because I don't want a big plastic tree in my house, and then I don't want to go chop one down. And then I have done the live tree thing a few times, but it's that's kind of torturing the tree because the tree's in dormancy in a pot because it's winter and it's cold, and then you bring it into the house, and then you bring it out of dormancy, and then if you're not careful enough to kind of move it in and out so it doesn't lose its needles, and it does lose its needles, and then it's it's just, I don't see this whole Christmas tree thing or putting up all these lights as something enjoyable or something that I want to do. That's just me. I see it more as a good time to get together with friends and family, and but it seems that that was pink, blue, and green icicles on the side of the mountainside. Somebody must have dyed them somehow. I don't know what that was. That was weird. Anyways, so for Christmas, it's just a good time to get together and celebrate with the family, but not to go too crazy or overboard. I mean, a lot of people use it as an excuse to really gorge themselves, and then they get really sick with food poisoning, which a lot of people don't know they have food poisoning, and then they go to the hospital and they're told they have whatever. It could be any disease name, right? But food poisoning is generally a huge issue among the Western society populations, and people don't even know it. It's they don't even know that it's what they've been eating that is causing them to get sick. Their body's had enough. It's on overload, toxicity overload, and then you get these cold and flu-like symptoms, or these headaches, or these intestinal tummy pains, or whatever it is. It's generally the diet, and people don't even realize that. They don't realize that meat is poisoning them. They don't realize that eggs and dairy and a lot of these foods, especially the processed and packaged foods with all the weird ingredients, they don't realize that all these things are slowly poisoning them. And yeah, a lot of people can tolerate them for quite some time, maybe even into their 80s if they have strong constitution or whichever, but that doesn't mean that they're living in good health, and that doesn't mean that their diet is healthy. And I'm really excited about sharing my new dietary regime because I feel that I've, in some ways, freed myself from some of my dietary fears. Not necessarily, okay, not fears, but just, I guess I've just kind of weeded through a bit more in misinformation, and I'm gonna share it all with you, and it's pretty exciting. Anyways, I gotta do this crazy left turn here. I think they call this one like not the highway of death, but it's like, this is a famous left turn from this highway heading into Penticton, where people constantly get in car accidents. So I'm gonna focus on this left turn. Happy healing, everyone, and it's good to finally make a video and give an update anyways, and I hope everyone has good holidays. I know the world's in quite a situation, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. They keep pushing the same old crap, and even the people who were sound asleep before and have taken, you know, upwards of 2-3 of those pointy things, they too are, a lot of them, realizing that it's just so over the top. Anyways, so happy healing, everyone. Take care. Please don't go out and get yourself tested, because you know what that does? That just perpetuates this madness. It just keeps it going, you know? So don't keep it going. Don't buy into it. Don't support it. Okay, bye-bye.